San Francisco, let's talk about it. It's known as a city by the bay. It has fantastic, moderate Mediterranean climates. It's home to the iconic Golden Gate Bridge and the world's crookediest street, Lombard. Try saying that 5 times fast. It's also home to a strong tech scene and arguably re-emerging tech scene. It's been a hub full of culture and arts and a destination for people throughout its entirety. Having grown up in the Bay Area, San Francisco was always like the city of Oz to me. It was a place of wonderment, amusement, and escape. After college, it was a place I wanted to live and I wanted to experience firsthand. And having seen South Beach and Embarcadero developed, it's given me fantastic insight into the city and able to advise our clients where to live, how to live, and which neighborhoods best apply to their lifestyles and best meet their expectations. We have a lot of clients, especially currently debating, I never thought I was going to live in the city, or they may have regret of not buying in the city earlier. And most of us are betting that the city will become great again and that it will change and it will evolve. Having spent the last few days in the city, it feels like it was to me. We really have enjoyed it. And I wanted to talk about some of the pros and cons regarding buying new construction in the city. Maybe you don't want something that's 100 years old. Maybe you don't want to share walls in a 100-year-old building. Maybe you don't want to go into a fixer-upper. So we're looking at new construction, shiny new buildings. And for many of our clients, they've grown and matured in their life and careers and want a place that's turnkey, and they want a place where you walk in and you feel like you made it. I'm talking about buildings like 181 Harris, 181 Fremont, or the Avery, or even 1 Stewart Lane. And some of the pros of these buildings is that they're brand new. And if you buy them at a certain point, they're actually customizable. You could put a deposit down, commit to building, choose your finishing, and some of these premium buildings, you could work with the interior decorator and have it completely turnkey the minute you get keys. The other thing is they are highly energy efficient with denser drywall and LED lighting, low wattage. They're easier to maintain, they're energy efficient, and a lot of them are offering buyer incentives right now. Anything from preferred financing rates to rate buy downs to heavily discounted units, especially those that are at the end of their cycle. And package that onto the stuff that we'll offer. Oftentimes we'll negotiate the rate for you, and oftentimes we'll cover at least 1 year or a portion of the HOA depending on the buyer co-op or the broker co-op. Some of the cons you have to remember about these buildings is that when we close escrow, it doesn't match up with a lot of your timelines. If this is a primary residence, you really have to plan out 6 months to a year, but there are more and more units that are ready that you don't have to customize and that you can move in right away. So you have to consider the timeline. You have to also consider the higher cost of ownership. A lot of these things are higher HOAs because they are full service. They have a doorman, they have valet, they have additional things that they have to take care of. Unlike the mature units that are well established, they've gone through their insurance policies, they've done the work, they understand the maintenance coming up. A lot of the maintenance on these newer buildings are somewhat unknown. It's all forecast and all planned, but they have to collect that and they have to create that HOA to take care of that. In addition, a lot of these newer buildings have something called Mello-Roos. And Mello-Roos is the improvements done to get the building up. So utilities, roads, et cetera, all that was, rather than given as a tax to the entire city, it's a tax leverage just on the residents of this building because those are the ones who benefit off of these. And those taxes often are 100% of HOA, which means if your HOA is about 1,000, expect to pay another 1,000 a month in Mello-Roos, and it's collected at one time with property taxes. So that's something that you want to consider as well. And the general rule in San Francisco is if your building is, I would say, north of First Street, you probably do not have Mello-Roos. If your building is south of First Street, there's probably a Mello-Roos in the purchase agreement. So watch out for that. The other cons of new buildings is decision fatigue. Not only are they all over the place in San Francisco, they offer different amenities, they offer different levels of service, they offer different locations, and based on the location, there's different restaurants and museums and things to do around them. So everyone has its pros and cons. And in addition, when you're moving in, it's a blank unit. It's a brand new home. It's something that you probably want to decorate or modify or customize. And that's really where interior decorator comes in, or interior designer. A lot of them offer on-site, but you can also bring your own. Very popular residents of the Harrison brought in its overall decorator, Ken Folk, to help them develop their units. The other maybe con of new developments is limited negotiation. Unlike resale, where we negotiate with realtors and the sellers directly for concessions and whatnot, the amount of things that we can negotiate on a new construction is quite limited. But right now we're seeing arguably sellers giving up the most concessions at any given time. We're seeing properties being sold at for record low prices, and rather than reducing costs, we have a lot of these builders that are throwing in upgrades and interior design packages that you could really build out a fantastic place for you and your family. And finally, we have this weird thing at the end. You know, when you jump into a new car, it has that new car smell. When you jump into a new house, it also has a new house smell. And that's coming from the plastics and the gas from these materials. It's basically just off-gassing. But if you're sensitive to that, or you have sinus issues, that's something that you probably want to pay attention to. Of course, we could leave the doors and windows open and put in fans and see if we could get that out, but it's a process that does take time. Whereas older construction, material's been there for a while, it's settled, it's already spent all of its gases. So hopefully these are some items that you found helpful in your decision making between an older and a newer construction. And I want to know if living in the city has always been a dream of yours. What do you like about the city? What do you wish you could change about the city? What do you wish that San Francisco could change? If you could talk to London Breed about installing, a 5-year or a 10-year plan for the city, what would you like to see? Do you prefer the hustle and bustle over a city, or do you prefer the serene calmness of suburban or even country life? Jot your answers down in the comments. I want to know, and if there's anything I could do or my team could help you do to achieve your real estate dreams, let us know. We're here for you. Thank you for choosing Metis.